Greetings and great things. It is Q Talks. We are back once again. Please excuse any background noise. I think there's like a rubbish, like trash collecting van going by behind me. But hopefully, my mic is picking me up more than it's picking up that background noise. So, welcome back. It's another podcast episode. I've been on holiday for like 3 weeks, hence the lack of content. So I really do apologize for that. And I aim to make up for it by being as consistent as I can. I would like to upload once a week, but even if I can just do once a month, I'll be happy. But I know I'm going to do more than once a month. So yeah. Anyway, today I am here with some Black Swan guidance, some advice. I have my notebook, and today's topic is what spiritually mature people understand about pain. So, this topic is one that I resonate with a lot, like I do with most of my topics, because they come from my own personal truth. And I hope that this finds the people that will benefit from it the most. So, I have a few notes here, which I will be referring to, but I'm going to try to just talk broadly about this topic. The first thing I wrote down is that pain is a catalyst for change. It's a signal. When we feel pain, we know that something is wrong, whether that's physical pain, emotional pain, mental pain, spiritual pain. I look at pain as a catalyst because pain encourages change, it encourages healing, it encourages growth. Pain is the prelude to progress, right? So when you have that sort of attitude towards pain and you start to understand that can also, pain isn't an isolated event, right? Pain leads to things. It's a signal. When you are in pain, sometimes when you are mentally in pain, spiritually in pain, it becomes a signal that things need to change. And when you have a large capacity for pain, you can also have a large capacity for healing. And that is something that I really, 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 really want to hone in on. Because as I have expressed here before, I'm a highly sensitive person, right? I wouldn't say that I'm extremely sensitive to pain. I think that I have maybe a slightly higher threshold or tolerance for pain than some others do. This may be due to neurodivergence as well. But when it comes to picking up on emotional pain, feeling spiritual pain, mental pain, or even the pain and suffering of others, I am very able to pick this up and I'm very in tune with these things. Having this kind of ability, right, to assess pain, to sense pain, and also to feel pain is equal to the ability to transmute that, like I said, because pain is not an isolated feeling. So that's something that I would like to invite you to consider, especially if you feel that you are someone who suffers a lot or who has been hurt a lot. Please consider the fact that as much as you are able to feel pain is as much as you are able to heal, right? It's the same as when people break bones in their body. As much as you are able to break that bone is as much as you are able to still heal, recover, and come back, sometimes come back even better, come back even stronger, right? So for me, oh, sorry, there's wasps and stuff. I mean, I do look like a flower, so can I blame them? For me, understanding that the fact that you suffer as deeply as you do is because you have the same capacity to end that suffering. As deeply as you can feel pain, is as deeply as you can feel healing, feel growth, feel recovery. And this is something that I don't think people consider or talk about enough, especially when it comes to pain and suffering. You don't have to stay in your pain, and pain doesn't have to become your only identity. You must remember, as I have said, that pain is not an isolated event. Pain is the prelude to progress. When you start to understand that pain is an all chemical process and you treat it in that way, especially spiritual and emotional pain, the power, the freedom that you get from that is not something that anybody else can give to you. I myself know this because I have felt pain from a young age and I have felt myself suffering. Yet, I also came to understand that my ability to feel so deeply, even the pain of others and the suffering of the world, is also because I am supposed to be able to deeply feel the reverse of that, right? And to deeply provide for my own self healing, transformation, rescue. I think sometimes we underestimate or we give a bad connotation to pain. But if you didn't feel pain, if you didn't know you were hurting, how could you help yourself? How could you heal yourself? If you were injured and you couldn't feel it, and you didn't know, if you were shot and you didn't know, if you had your leg attacked, cut off, and you didn't know, you couldn't feel it, you had an open wound that was bleeding out, but you could not feel it because you do not feel pain, what would happen to you? You would surely perish, you would die, you would not make it. Your ability to feel pain is what can save you, what can rescue you, and what can allow you to find the tools to help yourself, to heal yourself. Oh, not a fly chilling on me like that. I don't like that, y'all. But anyway, that is something that I really wanted to address, right? It is an alchemical process. And alchemy is transformation. And when we transform our feelings, we transform our pain, what we get from that is very, very valuable. But we wouldn't be able to do that if we weren't able to address, feel, acknowledge the level of pain that we do. I also think it's very important to understand different forms of pain, as in external pain versus physical and emotional pain versus self inflicted pain. Different types of pain can be utilized and processed in order to transmute. For example, one of the things that I'm skilled in doing, right? I'm able to give people wax therapy. I give them sugar waxing therapies, and I'm able to do it to myself also. One of the things that I've had to accept is that although people voluntarily bring themselves to my appointments, right, or book my appointments, they pay for it. They know what's going to happen. They've done it many times before. A lot of people still try to avoid the inevitable pain. And if you're a woman, you've heard before, if you've grown up in certain cultures, that beauty is pain. One thing that I've had to remind some of my clients and even myself when I'm giving myself a treatment, it's like, this is voluntary. I am putting myself through this. I am choosing this. So instead of me fearing the pain, running away from it, I should embrace it, right? And I should allow it to take me to the other side being the completed treatment. When you fear the pain, you don't want to feel the pain, you prolong the treatment, you're still feeling pain. It's just taking longer to get to the end result. And I think that's the same with pain in life, with pain that we put upon ourselves, and with just the experience of pain itself. Like I said, obviously there are different forms of pain. Sorry, guys, I just paused and spoke to my friend quickly. They're walking around while I'm in the park. So that's an example of self inflicted pain, right? But let's address, okay, external pain. This is not pain that you're putting yourself through. This is pain that you feel like the outside environment is putting you through, is putting into you, is making you have to deal with. But what does that mean? That means that you can rise to the occasion. That means that you can make it through to the other side. It doesn't mean that you want to, it doesn't mean that you deserve it. It just means your capacity is being tested right now. But I think the biggest pitfall with pain is the fear of it, the avoidance of it, and the running away from it. When you walk into that fear, when you embrace it, when you accept it, no matter how unacceptable it feels, you are given another perspective on yourself. You are able to see yourself in a capacity that you may have never imagined yourself in before. And I think it's so important that we do this, that we exercise this, and that we don't fear this as humans, because this is one of our innate strengths and abilities that we have been given, is the ability to be resilient, to be strong, and to change and overcome, even thrive, survive and thrive in the face of adversity, right? And I think when you meet pain and you give yourself the opportunity to overcome it, you lead yourself to these higher aspects of yourself and your humanity. Physical pain is a difficult one because, again, it's testing you, but it's also showing you something. Maybe it's inviting you to examine things about yourself that you haven't, to consider your health, your well being, your body, to consider what you need to do, maybe if you need to do less, if you need to do more. And emotional pain, emotional and mental pain. This sort of pain is probably some of the most difficult to deal with and to accept and to embrace, because naturally we are biased when it comes to the emotions that we want to feel. But again, to be able to feel emotionally hurt, sad, disappointed, pain, all of these are aspects of your humanity. And to be able to overcome these things are aspects of your strength. Fearing this pain, avoiding it, or suppressing it may make you feel stronger, but I truly believe that vulnerability is one of the biggest strengths that we can exercise. And when you're able to be vulnerable with yourself and then with others, you you allow yourself to experience the full range of what we are here to experience, and to understand that it is all okay, and that it is all something that you can overcome and you have the capacity to overcome. Spiritually strong people, spiritually mature people, understand that pain is not something to be avoided. Pain is not something to fear or to suppress. Pain is something to overcome. Pain is something to appreciate. Pain is something to transform in. Part of the reason that I am so motivated about this channel is because of the pain that I have felt, that I have encountered, that I have overcome, and my desire, my willingness to prevent others from going through that pain alone. Not to prevent others from going through that pain, because I cannot stop you from feeling what is inevitable. But what I can do is show you that it's okay, that I've made it through, that you can make it through, and that this is part of what we are here to be able to do, right? And if I can hold your hand in that, if I can be there for you, support you in any way, for that, that heals my pain, that transforms my pain. So I would like you to invite yourself to consider how you look at pain, how you deal with pain, what pain means to you, what different types of pain mean to you, and how you can start to deal with them differently, how your pain can lead to progress. Because your pain is not only there for your suffering, it's also there for your pruning. So, if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much for joining me for another episode. I love you guys so much. I hope to see you guys very soon. As always, your thoughts, your comments are very valued, and I would love to hear, what you think, or if there are any suggestions or any videos that you would like me to film. I'm gonna relax, enjoy the rest of this sunshine and my day, and I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you enjoy it too. Ciao.